Hello and welcome to part 3 of the Amaze platform demo series. During this video, we'll be going over a few different features. So we're going to be looking at things like the video call, live dashboard, push campaigns, and reporting. So these are a few of my favorite features. We've pretty much covered about everything. This video should be probably about 10 to 12 minutes long, so nothing too crazy. And then we'll have one short video after this. It's going to just kind of wrap things up. Basically, we're going to get through this. We're right at the finish line here. So I do want to first start out by talking about our video calls. So video calls is a new feature that we just recently released. And with video calls, you're basically able to video chat with somebody when they're on your website. So let's say here you're going back and forth with Nancy. She's asking you some questions. She's not really sure how to use a product that she just bought. And maybe sometimes it might be easier for you just to hop on a video call with them and, kind of show them how to do it or, guide them through that process. And, it makes it really personal for sure. So what I can do is I can see this customer is currently on the website here. I can ask Nancy if she wants to join a video call, and then I can click on start video call here, and then it will start that video call. And on her end, she will see something like this where it does say where she's able to answer or decline the call. And then on our end, it'll look pretty straightforward. It just looks like this. So you'd be able to see her face, obviously, and you guys can go back and forth. And if she doesn't want to have her camera on, she doesn't have to. So that's another benefit to this as well. All right, and then that's going to bring me into our push campaigns here. So our push campaigns is a relatively new feature. But basically with push campaigns, you're able to have customers subscribe to push notifications on your website. So you're able to have something that looks like this. So you can have a push prompt on your website that says, subscribe to updates. We drop new discounts every week. You don't want to miss them. Click on yes, to basically allow push notifications. So a customer can click on yes here, and then the browser will prompt them in the corner here to allow or decline push notifications. Mine's not popping up because I've already done it here, but pretty straightforward. And then when somebody does click on allow, they become part of your audience. And then once you build an audience, you're able to build out a push campaign. So a push campaign will look something like this. You basically have the title of your push campaign, you have the message, and then the link that it goes to when they click on it. You also can have an image on your push notification, and then you can also have different buttons like shop now, shop sales, shop new arrivals. On a Windows computer, this is what it would look like. On an Android device, this is what it would look like. And then on a Mac, this is what it would look like. So push campaigns, super cool. There's a lot of added benefits. The two biggest added benefits to push notifications, in my opinion, though, is going to be number one, you're able to reach customers who aren't currently on your website. So these customers don't have to be anywhere near your website, and you're able to send a push notification to them, and it'll just be a browser prompt that pops up, and they'll be able to see that on their computer. The second one, and in my opinion, the biggest added value to this, is that you don't need any type of personal information on your customers to send them a push notification. So sometimes you have customers that come onto your website and they don't want to give you their name, they don't want to give you their email, and we see that pretty often, right? And it's okay, right? People are certain ways and they don't want to give that information, which is perfectly fine. But with push notifications, they're basically able to subscribe to those notifications, and they're able to get those notifications without having any type of personal information that they put in. So you're essentially able to reach all those different customers without having any type of personal information. So like I said, one of the biggest added values in my opinion for sure. And then next we do have our live dashboard here. So the live dashboard does show you everybody who's currently on your website. So we can see here that we have 3 users online, and we can see Nancy Bridges' name here. We can also see a couple guest users as well. But the reason why we can see Nancy's name and email is because number one, she's either logged into the store via Shopify or WooCommerce, or number two, she's interacted with the chat. So she's wrote in a chat and she's given us her name and email. If she has not done either one of those, then that's why we can see the guest user here. And so the benefit to this live dashboard is it's really just a good, like a proactive way to reach out to customers. So let's say that customer support's may be slow one day and you want to reach out and talk to these customers and ask them if they need any help or anything like that. This is a perfect way to do that. So I can see here what URL the customer is on, and then I'm also able to see their physical location, and then I can also see the time that they've been on the website. And if I want to message this customer, all I have to do is just click on this little message bubble here, and I can say, something like, hey, let us know if you have any questions about, we'll say, product X. So I can send this through, and then on their side, they'll receive that, and it'll basically pop up there, and it's going to, ask them if they need any help on their end. So pretty helpful. Like I said, it gives you that proactive approach where you can reach out to customers and, you can ask them if they need any help with a conversation, or you can say, hey, notice you're checking out Product X. Let me know if you have any questions. Sometimes people might think that's a little bit weird or a little invasive if you know what they're looking at. So another approach that I see a lot of businesses taking is, let's say you know their name, like Nancy, for example. We can reach out to Nancy. We wouldn't address her at all by her name. We would just say, hey, we're currently having a sale on Product X. Feel free to use this 20% off discount code that expires in 24 hours. Obviously, there's no actual sale going on, but it's going to help convert that order, right? So we can reach out to her and say something like that. She'll just think it popped up because, she went to that website or that page, and that's going to pop up because of that. When really you're the one doing it and you're in the back end of that. Also, too, if somebody is logged into the store, they're signed in, or they've interacted with the chat, then I am able to click on this, and I can see their customer profile inside of Amaze. So we can see Nancy's profile here. We can see past conversations we've had with her. We can also scroll down here and see some customer attributes. We can see some customer notes. So you're able to see all of that. And then another benefit to this live dashboard is you are able to search for different users. So I can search for a user up here at the top right based on, let's see, city, country, product name, the URL they're on, stuff like that. So you are able to search through here and basically figure out what kind of groups you're trying to target, and you can target them by searching for, their URL or their location, things like that. All right, and then that will bring me into our reporting here. So with our reporting, you have your overview here, right? So you have your volume from the last 24 hours, volume from the last 30 days. You have your average response time rate in the last 30 days. You also have a daily volume trend here, and then a channel conversation breakdown too to see, where customers are reaching out to you through the most. And then you have your volume report. This is actually one of my favorite reports because pretty straightforward for the most part. You're able to see your volume from a specific time period. But the benefit here though is if I scroll down, I can actually see a heat chart of our volume. So I can say, okay, it looks like from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. we're really busy, and we kind of pick back up from 3 to 4. So during those times, we need to make sure we have all hands on deck, kind of a thing. You also have your channel summary report. This will just break it down per channel. So I can look at like my chat and email channel, and I can see how many customer responses we have, staff responses, what our average response time rate is. I can scroll down here and look at, Facebook Messenger. I can see how many responses we have there. I can also see our response time, things like that. And then response time report, pretty straightforward. As far as this goes, you're going to be able to see your response time for a given time period. If I scroll down though, you do have that heat chart to see, hey, what happened at Thursday at 4 o'clock and why did it take 16 minutes to respond to somebody, kind of a thing. And then below that, you have some other things like your tag reports. Tag reports is really helpful. I kind of touched on this late in the earlier video, I think video 1. But a way that I see a lot of businesses using these tag reports is, let's say customers are writing in with, reoccurring questions or reoccurring problems. I'll see those businesses tagging those conversations with that question or problem. And then at the end of the month, what they'll do is they'll run a tag report and they'll say, okay, we had, let's say, 15 people write in about demo requests. Maybe we should make an FAQ article about that or a response template so we can better handle it in the future. So that's kind of the way you use those tag reports. Pretty helpful though, because if you're tagging stuff constantly, then you can always come back to these reports and, see how well you're doing or how many times something's popping up, stuff like that. And then you also have down here your Shopify and BigCommerce attributed orders. So with these, this is actually a super cool report. With this, you're able to basically see how many conversations inside of Amaze led to orders being placed. So I can see that one conversation led to 2 orders being placed, and that one conversation accounted for $1,221. Now, how that works on the back end. Basically, if somebody writes in and you're talking to them, if they end up purchasing something within 10 days of that interaction, then we're going to be able to see, then it's going to count as a Shopify attributed order. And if I scroll down here, I can actually see that order number 1041 for $610 took place because of this conversation. So we can click into this conversation and I can take a look at it and say, hey, we did this really well. Let's try to, do that in the future. Or maybe we could have done a little bit better here, and we can kind of train our staff that way too. And then below that, you do have staff reports. So I can click on an individual staff member here like Chris. We can see how many responses he has, what his average response time rate is. We can see other metrics like the amount of notes he's left, the amount of resolved conversations he has. And then I am able to click on comparison here. And I can actually compare Chris to our average staff member. So I can see where Chris is doing really well, or maybe where he can improve a little bit. And then you also have your staff summary report. So with the staff summary report, it's just going to break it down per staff member. So I can look at Chris here, I can look at Olivia, I can look at myself. And then the nice part about this though is if I scroll all the way down, this data you can actually convert to CSV format. So if you do want to keep track of your staff members and see how they compare to each other and how each one's doing, then you can easily just do that by converting it to CSV format and keeping it in an Excel sheet. All right, well, I covered about everything I wanted to go over for video number 3. Like I said, about 11 minutes, so we're right on the mark there. I'm going to have one last video that kind of wraps things up, but for the most part, we went over mostly everything that I wanted to as far as high level goes. So I'll see you in video 4. It'll be a quick 2-minute video, something super simple like that, but I'll see you in video 4 and we'll go from there.